Is it anybody else that a veteran would somehow criticize more than 140,000 troops serving in Iraq and not the president and his people who put them there? They're crazy.
That's John Kerry trying to explain his comments on Iraq. Meantime, we've just learned that Senator John Kerry has canceled all campaign events today. He says he doesn't want to be a distraction to Democrats. Let's get some reaction to the Kerry calamity as one of the newspapers headlined today.
Joining us right now, a guy who lives very close to him because their jobs coincide, Governor Mitt Romney. Governor, are you surprised that John Kerry would make those remarks?
Well, no, actually, you know, my dad used to tell me that when something would get caught in a corner, it's bound to lash out. Unfortunately, John Kerry said what he said, and he's trying to pretend that he was planning on saying something else, but he said what he said, and he needs to apologize for the words he actually said. There's no reason to apologize for something he was thinking of saying. What he said was insulting and was demeaning to our troops. If he didn't mean it, then he should get out there and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. If you've been offended, I apologize. But he said something highly offensive.
And Governor, he is saying that it was a botched joke. If that were the case, would he not have come out at the later in the day press conference and said, it was a botched joke, and by the way, I'm sorry for what I said because this is what I meant?
Well, sure. If it's a botched joke, I'm not quite sure what the joke is. If he's just saying that the president is stupid, that's putting him in the same category as Hugo Chavez. So that's not a club he wants to join. He's really in a very tight spot here. That's why he's lashing out the way he is, because he doesn't have anywhere to go. The point is he said something that was highly offensive, and he wants to pretend that that isn't what he meant to say, and perhaps that's the case. Even if you give him that benefit of the doubt, what he said was overwhelmingly insulting and needs to be accommodated and apologized, rather, as an enormous gaffe.
And by the way, he also just was very critical of the generals because they have not secured Baghdad after that operation started, and he had that classic when he was talking about American soldiers going in and terrorizing women and children in Iraq in the middle of the night. But that's enough of that. Let's talk about you for a second. True or false, you've met with Jeb about possibly teaming up if you get the nomination?
No, sorry, Brian. I like Jeb Bush a lot. As a matter of fact, I think he's the best governor in America, bar none. He's a fabulous guy.
Better than
and
you?
He'd be a fabulous president. Better than me. He's been there longer. He's done a great job. He's terrific. But we haven't talked about presidential politics. Maybe if he runs, he'd think about signing me on as his VP.
But Governor, Jeb Bush's former chief of staff and top political advisor Sally Bradshaw, his chief finance director Ann Woods-Herberger, they've all joined your political action committee. Would that not be a sign that the two of you are joining forces politically?
Well, it'd be a sign that people who work with him think I have some good prospects down the road and that I'm able to do some good things this year, and they've signed on to be of help. So I appreciate that. The people that you mentioned are terrific, Sally Bradshaw, Ann Herberger, and I was delighted to have them sign on board. But there's been no discussion whatsoever with Governor Bush about prospects of us working together politically in the future.
But I'm sure you talk a lot about them because they work with them, but now you have to match their 401k. Governor, for you, when would you make the announcement when it comes to running for president?
Well, I'll probably do like other people who are looking at this race, probably make my mind up after the November elections, and then sometime either just before or just after the start of the new year, I'll make a final decision and make an announcement at that point.
So you're going to have a quiet Christmas, and then you're going to just turn your life into non-stop campaigning for 2.5 years.
Well, it's always possible to do what Mark Warner did. I think he surprised everybody. He'd worked very hard for his party, gone across the country raising money, decided not to run when push came to shove. I think there are a lot of people who will reach the same decision who are now being speculated about. But for me, that decision will come a little later.
Well, Governor, at least you'll have a clean car when you do all that campaigning. Good to speak to you this morning.
Thanks. Good to be with you.